Welcome back from an ad break, grade 10s. Now let us continue with our third concept, which is imitations or counterfeiting and bootlegging. The meaning of counterfeiting. Counterfeit goods are copies or imitations of genuine goods such as clothing or shoes that are marked with a fake logo or trademark. So when we talk of counterfeit goods, we are referring to those imitations of original goods whereby they insert a fake logo so that those particular goods will look similar to those which are original. So that's counterfeiting. There are products that are imitated and pegged to resemble the original high-priced goods. Like I've said, that when we talk of counterfeit goods, basically, it's done more especially on clothes, whereby they peg them the same way, they use the trademark, which will be similar. Even though it's not similar, it's a fake. They use a fake trademark that will look alike the original goods in order for them to resemble as if they are the same thing, whereby they are not. And they like to counterfeit goods of those goods of expensive prices. Impact of counterfeits on businesses. Counterfeits often result in price increases of original goods. So here's the impact of counterfeits on businesses is that the original goods now, they increase, those businesses who sell original goods, they increase the prices of those original goods, trying to cover up for the lost sales due to what? Due to counterfeits. Consumers are often tempted to buy counterfeits because of the considerable price differences. So obviously consumers are being tempted to buy what? To buy those counterfeits because they look alike the original products. And since they look alike, even the price, it's not the same. Those counterfeits are cheaper than the original prices. Then it becomes a problem for those consumers who prefer buying original prices because now the prices are going to be expensive for them. Counterfeits reduce the sales and profits of businesses. So these counterfeit products, these imitations, they reduce the sales because now consumers, since they're tempted to buy the counterfeit goods because of less prices that they are being charged. So what happens to businesses who sell original products? Now they end up losing what? They end up losing sales. They end up losing profits because now customers are no longer coming to buy their products because they feel as if they are expensive as to compare to those imitations that they are now buying or substituted the original products with. We look at bootlegging. Now, the meaning of bootlegging. It is the recording of live or broadcast performance without the permission of the performers or songwriters or record company that are then copied and sold. So when we talk of bootlegging, we are referring to the recording of the original performance or of live music without the permission of the songwriters or owners of those particular recordings. So if there's a live performance and then you decide to record, after recording then you decide to do it, to duplicate, make copies and then sell those particular maybe music, maybe DVDs, then we call that bootlegging because one would have done that without the permission of the original author of that particular music or DVD or movie. The example of bootlegging is selling of illegal copied DVDs of latest movies on street corners. We are witnesses of that, learners. You know that there are some movies that are shown only on cinemas. Then a movie is out there at a cinema, we watch the movie, then after 2 days or 3 days, boom, there's a movie that is being sold. The same movie is being sold now on every street corner. That is bootlegging because those people who have recorded those performances, those movies that were being aired at cinemas, they did not get the permission from the original authors of those particular movies or from the performers of those particular live broadcasts. Now they've copied the music. We call that bootlegging because they did not get the permission from the original authors or performers of those recordings. Now we look at the impact of bootlegging on businesses. So businesses lose out on profit. So because of bootlegging, now businesses do what? They lose on profit because when already they are selling those original CDs, original DVDs at the music stores or online, wherever you can get them, now it becomes a problem because already the movie is out there. We've already seen it without even buying them from the original shop. So these businesses, they end up losing on profits that they should have been made if there was no bootlegging or recording that had taken place. Businesses may experience a decline in sales due to fake or imitated distribution of the product. Because of bootlegging, now businesses do what? Businesses experience a decline in sale because now customers are no longer going to buy the original product. Instead, they rely on the imitations that they get at a cheaper price. So it affects businesses. Businesses may be forced to implement price adjustment strategies to minimize the impact. So now what happens if businesses lose on profit, businesses lose on sales? Now they can be forced to do what? To implement price adjustment strategies, whereby now they are going to do what? To make sure that they charge a bit more higher of the original products that they are selling, so as to cover for the losses that they have suffered. Meaning now the original products are going to be expensive for those people who buy only the original ones. Now let's move on to our last concept of our lesson, which are other socio-economic issues. So other socio-economic issues would include strike. Let us look at the meaning of strike. A strike or labor dispute is a collective refusal by employees to work because of an issue in the workplace aimed at forcing the employer to give into their demands. So basically, when we talk of strikes, here's a group of employees having an issue with an employer whereby maybe they want an increment from the employer and the employer does not want to give them that particular increment. So if the employees decide to go on the streets and not work, refuse to work on that particular day, so as to make sure that they force their employer to give into their demands, of which in this instance is increment. Now we call that a strike because they are not working, they are refusing, they are trying to force with the strike the employer to give in to their demands, give them the increment that they are requesting from the employer. It is a collective action taken by a group of unhappy employees for employers to accept their demands. So usually the people who strike are unhappy employees. They are not happy. It can happen because of certain issues. In this instance, we made an example with the salary increment. Maybe they are not happy with whatever percentage that is being put on the table by the employer. Now they feel that it's less money. They are unhappy about that. Then they go to the streets and do what? And strike and stop working completely. The impact of strikes on businesses. The cost of making up all the working hours is too high. So the impact is that to cover up for the lost hours whereby the employees were striking is too high, because already the business would have lost productivity, would have lost the income that they were supposed to be getting on that particular day. So it's going to be difficult for them to do what? To cover up for that particular loss, maybe in one day, maybe in a week, maybe in a month. It's very difficult. Strikes can be violent because strikers intimidate those employees who do not want to go on a strike. So strikes can be violent because in the workplace, not to say all employees want to be part of the strike. There are those employees who do not want to partake in a strike, but then they are intimidated because of not wanting to participate in a strike. So it can be violent whereby those who are striking, they end up doing what? Maybe harming those who do not want to be part of the strike. May result in loss of production as employees stay absent from work during strikes. So strikes, not that it results in loss of production, because during those particular days or day whereby employees are striking, there's no productivity that is happening in the workplace. So productivity is at a standstill. So it affects productivity in the workplace. Moving on to the meaning of political disturbances as part of other socio-economic issues. Political disturbances reflect frustration on the part of the community who may not feel that they have an effective voice in formal political processes. So Political disturbances, now we are referring to the community whereby maybe they are unhappy because of maybe service delivery in the community. So that's political disturbance. Unhappy community members. It is when a group of people protest against a socio-economic problem and feel that the government is not doing enough to solve the issue. Now, we look at the impact of political disturbances. Here's our interest. People in township or informal settlement areas may block roads, preventing employed people from going to work due to savers delivery protest. So the impact of political disturbances is that those community members who are protesting against a certain socio-economic issue or service delivery, they can block roads, preventing those employees who are supposed to go to work for them not to get to work. And if employees do not get to work, what happens? Productivity is going to be affected. Not to say those employees are striking. It's the people in the community who have blocked the roads. Employees cannot be able to pass and go to the workplace or reach the workplace in order for them to work. So they affect a business, those political disturbances. Businesses may be forced to close, especially those located in townships. So due to political disturbances, businesses may be forced to close down because if they've blocked the roads, if community members have blocked the roads, what would normally happen is the business will not be able to make money because there won't be any customers coming to buy in that particular business. Or it can happen that community members might decide to do what? To loot in that particular business. So they may be forced to do what? To close and not operate. May result in loss of production as employees stay absent from work during political disturbances. So as a business, we are affected, we are impacted by what? By political disturbances, because it can lead to the business losing productivity as employees are not able to do what? To come to work and work because the roads have been blocked by community members who are protesting. Another socio-economic issue that we have is crime. Any unlawful and harmful act related to loss of goods in a business due to burglaries or robberies or theft or corruption or hijacking. So when we talk of crime, we are referring to any unlawful or harmful act which relates to the loss of goods in a business. It can be due to burglaries, people coming into the business and maybe taking all our assets, taking our cell phones, taking money, taking products from the business. That is unlawful and that is harmful. So we refer that to crime. Theft is unlawful. Taking someone else's property to make it your own. So when you take something that does not belong to you and make it as your own without the permission of the owner, that is theft. It's against the law and you can end up in jail for doing that. So theft is not allowed. Now we look at the impact of crime on businesses. Insurance or security costs become expensive because of crime, because people come in and rob inside our business. Now the business has to do what? Now they have to make sure that they insure the business. The insurance is going to cost a lot of money if there are constantly robberies that are happening in the business. The premiums are going to be expensive for the business. Then the security cost, whereby the business will install CCTV footage, whereby they are able to maybe capture the robbers, or maybe trying to beef up security in the business. It's also another money, which can be an expense for the business. Loss of profits due to stolen goods from the business. So the business will do what? Will lose profits, because even if they have insured those stolen goods, the insurance does not just pay as quickly as the business would expect. So it's going to lose profits because on those particular time, the business wouldn't be operating because of the lost product or lost assets that have been stolen in the business. Businesses lose skilled people, resulting to a decline in productivity. Because of crime, some people are scared, would be scared to work in a business where there's constantly crime happening. So because people fear for their lives, a business might lose skilled employees because of crime. Increased medical expenses as workers are injured during the break-in. So crime also do what? It increased medical expenses on the business side, whereby if the employees were injured during that particular crime that was happening in the business, now those particular employees have to be taken to what? Have to be taken to a hospital, and the business must pay the medical costs, even if they were not injured because of trauma. The employees have to be sent for what? For counseling, of which it's another money that has to be paid by the business. I hope and wish that today's lesson was fruitful, and you need to remember that what you learned today does not nullify yesterday, but it does surely make tomorrow better. Hope to see you soon. Goodbye.